in our website and YouTube channel, Irish Global Health Network. Live streaming is also available right now on our YouTube channel, Irish Global Health Network. If you have any questions during the webinar, please use the question and answer feature in the bottom of the screen. For now, I will leave you with my co-host Nadine Ferris-France, the Executive Director of Irish Global Health Network and Eastern Ireland. Nadine?
Thank you, Hala, and welcome everybody. I'm really excited to that we're hosting this webinar today on maintaining healthy school communities. It's particularly topical this week as schools have been on midterm in Ireland, and in fact, schools and COVID have been in the media almost every day and every evening. So really excited. We have a wonderful selection of speakers for you today. Particularly honored and excited to be welcoming my colleague Pheung Pov from Cambodia. Po is a country manager with SeeBeyondBorders, and he's a pioneering leader and educator. He's a teacher by profession, comes from Siem Reap in northern Cambodia, and he joined SeeBeyondBorders in 2013. And we have been lucky enough to meet him as he's visited Ireland twice as part of the Cambodia-Ireland partnership. My wonderful colleague Po in Cambodia. And Po, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining us on a national holiday in Cambodia and in a late hour in the evening. You're very welcome.
Yeah, it's very pleased to be in here. Yeah, and
wonderful.
The worry about a public holiday in Cambodia is we have the most public holiday in the world.
Okay, good to know. So Po, you've heard Sam talking about the context of Ireland, and you know the context yourself, having been here yourself, but can you just tell us overall, very briefly, what's the context of education in Cambodia, even without COVID?
Yeah, so having been to, see school in Ireland, I just, myself and also like from the colleague who say, wow, what we say wow, because it's so much different. So here in Cambodia, we are a small country in Southeast Asia. But Cambodia between Vietnam and Thailand. But if you look at just like the education situation is very much different still. So in in Vietnam, they have 86% of their 15-year-old children are in grade 10, and in Thailand they have just like about 73%. But in Cambodia, we only have about 11%, of 15-year-old in grade 10. And just like the PISA-D report saying that less than 2% of the 15-year-old children of Cambodian could read and our own language, which is Khmer, and mathematics and science. So the rest 97% fail, the minimum standard of the minimum proficiency. And so yes, in overall, just like a person would stay in school just about 4.6 years in average. So lots of dropout,
Wow.
And so people just asking why the student drop out. Because we didn't really have the exact answers, but it's just like, if you look at the figure, nearly every child can come to primary school. Here with primary school, you might say it's the first level. But then when you just finish the second level, just only 20% that remain. Just like, for example, myself, I was just the only first person that finished the grade 12 high school, of my entire district. So, it's just like, so people say that access to education now is no longer a problem in Cambodia, but the quality. When people could not read, could not write, and could not solve the mathematics problem, it's even though it's a simple problem, they find it too hard just to continue the learning. So people would just drop out.
And so, Po, I mean, in that context, how then has COVID affected, schools, affected education? And I know the numbers have not been that high in Cambodia, but the effects of COVID, it's not just about the cases of COVID, it's about the effects of COVID. How has that affected children and schools and education?
Yeah, I think yes, the effect is very huge. I just like the economic, the effect economics very badly because Cambodians relies very much just on the tourism, which is about 32% just of our GDP, just like from the tourism. And now just there are no tourists. In Angkor Wat, which is one of the most famous temple in the world, they just usually have about 10,000 tourists just per day. But today they have just about 24. So nearly no tourists. So it's like the economy is really collapsed. And well, at least in Siem Reap, where I live, and so education, is very badly because the government, the Ministry of Education, just try to support with the distance learning, which is a lot of digital content, something, but I could say that it's very difficult because people who do not have the facility, and of course we don't have the internet. So let's see, just myself, I don't have internet at home, so I have just to come to town, because I have a smartphone actually, but it doesn't work just for a meeting or even though playing a video or like this. No, you can send text, but no more. And so there's lots of learning loss here in Cambodia.
And I think the schools only recently went back. There was an extended period where the schools were supposed to go back and then they did not. Is that right, Po?
Yeah, it's good. Now we come back. It's from the 7th of September, so a month, over a month now. But kids or children are allowed just to learn at school just for 2 or 3 days per week. One day is 4 hours in Cambodia. So so about between 10 or 12 hours a week. So so and because the class size in Cambodia is very big, 45 in average, so 45 kids per class. Average. But my wife is also a teacher, and her classes are just like 80 sometimes. Well, in the second level, you see it's like young adult and 80 squat together in the classroom. So so that's why the government just like split them into a smaller group of 20 per class just during this, and they are now just continue. They are considering just like another stage of preschool opening, which is they increase the class size to 30 per class.
Okay. And Po, you mentioned your wife is a teacher. SeeBeyondBorders as an organization supports teachers. That's your mission. How are the teachers coping? I mean, we have a very vocal teachers groups here in Ireland, so we know what the issues are here. But in Cambodia, how are the teachers coping? How are they finding it in school? Are there guidelines for teachers in terms of what to do in the schools? And how's their mental health?
Well, so the government just try they have just like some regulation just around the health care. I mean, it's like teachers need to wear masks and they just have to clean or to wash their hands regularly like that. And just social distancing, but in practice, it's critical. and just they try just to teach us online as well, but it's find it is very, very hard. So at SeeBeyondBorders, we just produce some video just to educate, to have just teachers by, we make a video of demonstration so that teacher can learn just something from those video, and then can take that for teaching in the class. We also just like produce some video for parents that they can use that for children. But again, just like the reach is not enough.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Pov. Just to ask you if you have any last word or message or thoughts for us today, Pov.
So yeah, this is a great webinar, and just like just in Cambodia, the learning loss is very big. So at SeeBeyondBorders, we try just to support teachers just to cope with the learning loss by helping them just like with they focus on the learning on the concepts and and all means that necessary the teacher can really take for the children. So I would say that just your support just from Ireland and from everywhere in the world now is like very, very important, even more important than other times, because we are trying to fight the learning loss and the coronavirus. So yeah, please
Thank you,
support us.
Po, and thank you for being here today. And we look forward to welcoming you, hopefully in person in 2021, when you start to study a master's degree here in Ireland with a scholarship from Irish Aid. So we will look forward to that very much.
Thanks to all our speakers for all these insightful discussions about the safety in school. We hope to see you all again in one of our coming webinars. And also thank you to all our attendees for joining and interacting. And we hope to see you again in our next webinar, which will be on the 27th of November. The recording of today's webinar will be added to our Irish Global Health Network YouTube channel, newsletter, and website. Thanks again, everyone. Stay safe and see you in the next webinar.